Thanks for checking out another cast from Tealtown, USA. Today we sit down with Sharks VP of Marketing and Digital, Doug Bentz, and discuss what to look forward to with playoff mode now on in Sharks territory. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, you can find everything on tealtownusa.com. All right, so we welcome in Doug Bentz, VP of Digital and Marketing. I'm assuming still.
Yeah, that's correct.
It appears that everything has gone digital for this season.
Yes, I've brought a lot of show and tell today, all centered around playoff mode, which is now less than a week away.
You can feel the excitement building. I'm waiting for the schedule to come out. I don't know. 7 a.m. on Sunday? Sure, I'll get up for that.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's appointment viewing.
So what can we expect? We saw some different things to open up this season, whether it was the typically we've seen ice projection, and opening night for this season we saw the circular curtain come down from center ice. Either of those happening, or is it kind of a we'll wait and see what happens?
Yeah, so I think, starting with the in-game show, you're going to see projection. We're bringing back the LED wristbands, which is choreographed to the music, which we have some actually new tricks that we work with the company, which now is going on 4 years. So we've actually been testing a lot with that company. We'll see the brand new opening show video. You'll actually see some things in intermission. Now with our LED lighting system, which you've probably seen can go to light to dark instantly, which has been tremendous for event presentation. We're actually going to try to create a show within a show. So at intermission's about 6 minutes left in intermission. We're going to start a new show, get people back in the seats, get them pumped up, so when the guys step back on the ice for the period, that they're ready to go, we're ready to go, and we're from the first second on the clock, we're playing at a high intensity level. So so you see intermission, you'll see the great the multimedia show before, and so it's going to create that unique playoff experience that we bring to the Shark Tank.
All right, we saw last season the playoff mode on. It seems like they've just gotten rid of the on part. We're going into playoff mode, no biggie. A lot of things happened last season, whether it was the addition of many neon signs going up in restaurants and bars all over, and I believe there was some parades that came from San Pedro and some other fun things that happened on the outside leading into playoffs. I remember seeing some great activity out on Autumn for pregame rallies and a huge screen out there. Can we expect more of those things as well, or even expanding on that?
Yeah, so I think we're going to expand on that for sure, and I think maybe taking it from today through game one, it may help to kind of put that in chronological order to see how people can get involved now till then. I think we really leaned into the playoff mode. Last year we saw better ticket sales, better TV ratings, just the energy around San Jose for the Sharks and the playoffs was probably better than I've seen in almost 14 years, and that was for round one. So we thought there was a lot of energy around playoff mode because just even as you said at the beginning of this interview, it's just a different feeling. My neighbors are asking me different questions. The energy in the front office is just different. Like everyone's just basically upping their game because they're in playoff mode. So I think the first thing is this little display here. It was really important for us to get playoff mode merchandise in the store. So we have several different SKUs in the store, from the generic playoff mode, both in men's and women's here, which has been a big request from our female fans, to this playoff specific. So you can see the Burns t-shirt here, Pavelski. We have 9 to 10 different player images that we'll use on merchandise. The socks, just a variety of things. So that's actually been in store since we clinched, and we've been working very hard with Fanatics on making sure that we're meeting fan expectations both on the product and the selection and the timeliness. The second thing, we do our Turn Up in Teal events, which is our street team, and sometimes SJ Sharky out all around town. At least 2 appearances per day, which fans can find out where those are happening on our social accounts. In the past, we've just kind of done, a random giveaway or just some tchotchke stuff. This year we created our playoff mode preparedness kit. So within this kit, you have a playoff mode rally towel, you have a playoff mode decal, you have a playoff mode teal sticker that you can put on the back of your phone. So when you shine your flashlight, you can show teal. And then what I like most is actually a teal light bulb. So you see a lot of times people change the light bulbs on their front porch to support different causes. I think now you can support the playoff mode cause by showing your teal on your front porch. So when you drive around town at night, you know who's bleeding teal and who's not. So these are being given out to everyone who shows up to our Turn Up and Teal events. And that will actually continue through the playoffs, as Turn Up and Teal will continue daily throughout the playoffs.
Makes me want to, how cool would it be to be able to like change the lighting in your, I think BMWs, they make Mini Cooper, and you can change the colors inside. It would be really cool to like just have all your inside, just put everything to teal.
That's great. Well, we're still trying to figure out how we can actually turn the tank teal outside, but that's maybe a future thing that I continue to work on. But we'll see where that goes.
Several drones and flashlights,
yes.
all synchronized.
Yes. Another thing, going on right now. So obviously the design is based on that neon sign that we did last year. That was the playoff mode on. We produced a limited amount of those. We actually sent them to some of our most loyal bars where people were gathering to watch Sharks games. So we're taking a little bit of a different angle this year. We want to make sure fans can have an opportunity to get one of these neon lights, because that was one of the biggest suggestions from fans last year. So we've created 9 different neon signs for 9 different players. And we've actually designed it so there's 2 on-off switches, one for playoff mode and one for the player. So after we go on our long playoff run, come next season, you can just have the player on during the regular season, and the minute we clinch, you can turn on playoff mode.
Well done.
So we're actually doing a sweepstakes where fans can win one of the 9 player neon lights. You can go to sjsharks.com/sweeps and enter today. So that's those are 3 things really how you can get in playoff mode before we even get to next week. So starting next week with home game number 1, you mentioned the playoff mode march from San Pedro Square Market. That was very successful last year. I think our top game was about 800 people marching in teal with a drum corps and Sharky and John Root down Santa Clara, which I think was a very powerful image. It showed really the amount of passion around the Sharks and Sharks fans. You'd get the cars honking up and down. So it was a no-brainer to bring that back. So that starts at San Pedro Square Market. They leave 2 hours prior to game time. And then they're marching down to the street rally, which we'll have a street rally out on Autumn Street for every game. We'll have, of course, the Sharks Foundation beer booth. We'll have entertainment. I think we'll have a few surprises. But the intent is for the playoff mode march to come in, celebrate the fact that they're here, and the doors will be opening 15 minutes early, so everyone, if they want to at that point, get in playoff mode inside the building, or they can stay and enjoy the street rally.
That sounds spectacular. Will there be some watch parties happening then for the away games as well?
Yeah, so every away game we'll have a watch party, and we're trying to kick that up to another level. We are looking at hosting all the watch parties either on Autumn Street or at Avaya Stadium, so we can really have a bigger community of Sharks fans celebrating together, create a little bit more of that Shark Tank atmosphere. I think it's hard to replicate that necessarily at a bar where it only has 300 people, so we saw the real need to bring more people together. So I think we'll obviously release that schedule once the round schedule comes up, but unless there's a conflict here at the building, we're most likely going to be out on Autumn Street. As we progress through the rounds, we may even move it over to Arena Green and have even more people out here. So you'll have the mobile TV truck, which the screen you talked about, the big LED screen. We'll have more entertainment, we'll have raffles, we'll have Danny, we'll tank patrol. So we'll be trying to create the atmosphere with a large crowd.
Last year, the towels that started for the first round with Anaheim, the slogan, everything behind it was Duck Hunt. Second round versus Vegas, it was Nighty Night. Are we going with Nighty Night, or should maybe there's something different?
So I think from a campaign perspective, we really looked at what we did, and that was fun. I think it was a rallying call for fans. I think this year we maybe had a different strategy of having it be about us Like our team is all about us. So actually, you'll see here if you want to hold that up.
Absolutely.
We're doing the player branded towels in black with white on the back. So these will be the giveaway items for every game. Each game will be a different player. So game 1 will be Pavs, game 2 will be Burnsy. This isn't the final version. This is a sample, but it'll be very similar to this. Game 3, whether that be in the first round or the second round, will be Jumbo. And so then going forward, a different player for each game, as well as commemorative tickets. So every game you come in, obviously, with mobile ticketing, there's not that memorabilia, so we wanted to add that back in because that's what we heard from fans. So you'll have a player-related commemorative ticket to go along with your player-specific rally towel.
Oh, very cool. And this, I'm not going to lie, quality on this has gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
This is a sweet towel.
Our giveaways are in playoff mode, too.
Yeah,
So everything's up a notch.
Oh, well done. Well done. So we covered playoffs, projections, anything else? Anything else that you haven't told me? Because I know that there's certain things, of course, you're going to keep close to the vest and release when the game actually happens, when you have to have that shock and awe moment in a game. I totally understand that. But is there anything else like fans maybe need to be aware of, whether it's even something along the lines of other conflicting events? Because obviously you want people here as soon as possible. You want to make sure that traffic is not an issue. Any tips on that?
Yeah, so I think an overarching view is get here early. I think sometimes maybe even fans underestimate the effect that we can have on the players, and we actually hear that from the players in the locker room. So get here early, be in your seat for the show, increase that energy. I mean, the players hear us in the locker room when we're going crazy before the game, just during the show, and that gets them ready. There's nothing necessary to call it in terms of conflicts, but come for the street rally, come for the march. I mean, these are really cool, powerful things that still, I've been here 14 years. I get goosebumps watching the march come down Santa Clara Street, and it just makes the experience so much more powerful. So come early. We're actually doing more in terms of like having countdown clocks in the concourse, because I know it's easy to lose track of time. So we want to make sure people are aware of, hey, when's it time to come in?
Has there also been like a light flicker similar to like a play?
So we've looked at that. I think that's difficult in the arena, and so we've gone kind of down with the countdown. We've also looked at having tank patrol or Sharky on the concourse, kind of letting people know. So I think we've played around with a lot of things and we'll continue to test, because it's very important that the fans are ready to go at puck drop.
Yeah.
A couple other things that I didn't mention. We talked about the away game viewing parties. We understand everyone's not going to be able to get to the viewing party. We understand not everyone's going to be able to get down to the tank. So, next week we're going to roll out actually a Sharks official viewing network. So we actually had fans submit bars that they think are neighborhood bars that either are already a Sharks bar or could be a Sharks bar. So we're going to basically designate 25 bars around the entire Bay Area official viewing locations. So we'll send them a kit so they can have they can have a sign outside, they can have giveaway items, they can have coasters, etc. So if you're not able to get down here, you can go to the bar that's closest to you and know that there's going to be a bunch of Sharks fans. You're going to have Sharks games on all the TVs, and you're going to have an atmosphere that is great for Sharks fans if you can't be down here celebrating with us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you'll see that next week. I think another thing which we've worked really hard on this year in terms of the game experience is food. So we'll see a lot of new food options for the playoffs. We'll have a new Milagro tequila drink called the Buzzer Beater. We'll actually have all of our souvenir beer cups and popcorn containers be in the playoff mode branding. So again, just another way you can get that souvenir item. We have the hockey helmet, which has been nachos. We're now filling it up with fried chicken and tater tots.
Is that directly from Organic Coop, or is that just something else?
That's something else.
Okay.
So just another option.
Okay, because I do enjoy that from Organic Coop. But
yeah. We have some more creative things, like they're called walkable tacos, where it's actually like a bag of chips that they cut in half, and you have the chips, and then you have all the fixings like a taco. So Again, easier to carry than a regular taco.
Oh, man, that's
so
great.
so a lot that's going to be available, both on the concourse and in the club. In the club, for club members, we have a couple options for them. La Villa Italian Market, a fixture of Willow Glen.
Absolutely.
They're actually going to be serving in our test kitchen in the club, so bringing that little bit of that local feel and La Villa Italian to the club, which is great. We have also some Korean spiced pork ribs. So we're trying to get creative. We're trying to bring things new. We're trying to kick it up again. Get the food in playoff mode as well. So there'll be actually a full menu of new items that we'll distribute to fans next week.
Well, I know the Vlasics and the Marlows are big fans of the. If you just a cursory look at their social media, and there's always a line coming out of there. So because I'll hit down there when I can.
Yeah.
So, and all this stuff is available in the stores. Well, these are going to be
correct. So those will be the giveaways for each home game, a different player, but everything else you see here will be in the store. And then keep an eye on our social media for the Turnip and Teal events, and we'll be giving away those giveaways at these events every day.
Awesome. Well, thanks for explaining everything. Thanks for taking the time, and I can't wait to start the playoffs.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thank you guys for your support. And time to get in playoff mode.